The fallout of WrestleMania is upon us, and one of the things that many fans are discussing is Jey Uso being crowned the new WWE World's Heavyweight Champion. Jey's rise to the main event scene was something that many fans saw coming. However, no one could see WWE go as all in as they did this year, having Jey Uso not only win the Rumble, but defeat Gunther, a dominant world champion, and someone who, even during his IC title reign, was rarely ever defeated and never pinned. However, at WrestleMania, Jey Uso became only the second man outside of Ilya Dragunov to make Gunther submit in WWE and started a world championship reign off as strong as you could possibly want. But with that, many fans are also criticizing the match itself, the way they got there, and more importantly, where they go next. As far as the match itself, it wasn't anything too special, but at the end of the day, the right person won. Jey Uso, who is as over as he has ever been, who is having thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people yeet with him every single week, who is by far one of WWE's biggest crossover stars in the modern era. Jey Uso was the right person to win this match. There is no doubt about it. And while you can criticize the booking, you can criticize the match itself, or you can criticize the way WWE went about it, the result was correct. But now it's time to talk about a truth that not many people want to reckon with, and that is the fact that it is going to be very hard for Jey Uso to have what many fans would note a quote-unquote successful title reign in WWE in 2025. This comes down to a myriad of factors, one of which is the fact that Jey Uso has never really been in a position where he's had to carry a match. Uso has had fantastic matches, especially his series with Roman Reigns, and definitely as a tag team wrestler, but as a singles wrestler, he has not ever really been the person you rely on to carry a main event level match. And as we've seen, he isn't necessarily the best person to do that. And as a world champion, many times that is your duty. Even if you look at guys like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Roman Reigns, people who don't really come to mind when you think of technical prowess in the ring, they know how to tell a story in a match. They know how to tell a story. They know how to carry a match as a single star. And the bottom line is, Jey just isn't there as a wrestler. So you're going to have that weighing against him. And in order to counteract that, yes, you could have him in the ring with guys who are much more equipped. You could have him in the ring with guys like AJ Styles, guys like Seth Rollins, and more. But at the end of the day, you do risk Jey becoming exposed as the champion a bit. And depending on how long this title reign is, it could eventually jade fans against him. Now you combine this with the other big thing that is going to be held against Jey, probably unfairly, and that is who the other champions in the company are. WWE is right now in a point where their other main champion is John Cena. They have the Intercontinental Championship held in prominence. They have the United States champion is Jacob Fatu, someone who can very much so hold his own in a match. Has been doing so for years, was even the MLW World Champion at one point. It's not hard to see where Jey Uso fits into it, and it's not towards the top of the ladder. And being compared to those guys is probably going to hurt him. And this also gets into the final part of the issue with Jey Uso as the champion, and that is the fact that, much like with Cody Rhodes and his run to WrestleMania and to the World Championship, a lot of times, especially when you're a top babyface, the chase is a lot better than when you are actually the champion. Jey Uso and his rise from the tag team specialist with his brother Jimmy to being a dominant force of the bloodline to then breaking out of the bloodline into single stardom is a fantastic story and is one that many fans have gravitated towards. And you want to see that guy win the world championship. And while you could have made the argument that 2023, as far as the story, as far as the character goes, was the best point to have him actually win the belt against Roman at SummerSlam, the fact of the matter is, no one should be complaining that Jey Uso won, but don't get mad when the actual run itself doesn't live up to the chase. And this is a chase that wasn't by no means perfect, but it's still good to see Jey Uso victorious and validate the entire career that he has had up until this point and validate the people who have been cheering him on. These problems that I've laid out are not just something that Jey Uso needs to deal with, but more importantly, they're something that WWE Creative needs to deal with. It's no secret that WWE Creative in the months following WrestleMania tends to be a lot more careless and have a lot less emphasis on big moments and stories. As we found out last year with Cody Rhodes' title run, they weren't necessarily ready to book Cody as a strong babyface. They weren't ready to book Cody as a strong character, and I do worry that the same is going to happen with Jey, but at the end of the day, one person has the ability to stop it, and his name is Triple H. Triple H is where the buck stops. Triple H is the person who we can attribute all of the WWE booking woes, triumphs, and otherwise to, and it is his job to find a way, whether it's putting Jey Uso in there with people who are going to help make him look better, whether it's putting Jey Uso in character situations that make him feel important, or putting obstacles in Jey Uso's way for him to overcome that make us more endeared to him. This is the challenge that Triple H faces, and in years past, he has epically failed at capitalizing on these moments in the aftermath. And it's one thing to be able to have a successful babyface win at a big pay-per-view, but it's a totally different thing to sustain that success. And that is where we are. Jey Uso, like I said before, is a great character. He has always been a great character, especially when the Bloodline stuff kicked off, and I would expect him to continue to be one, but as a champion, as the star of Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, WWE needs to be able to tell good, compelling stories with him. Otherwise, people are just going to be complaining about why Jey Uso isn't coming across as that guy. Will they be able to do it? Will they be able to book him successfully? I don't know, but hey, I guess we'll see.